Good afternoon, everyone. This is Barry Asm here. We're just a couple minutes early, so we'll be underway momentarily. So for those of you here early, thank you very much. And I want to give a quick shout out to Diane. Hope all is well. And again, we'll be with you momentarily. We're just waiting for Sam. Good afternoon, everyone. Just waiting here for Mr. Sam Seavey to join us. So apparently Sam is running a couple minutes late, so I apologize. But as soon as Sam gets here, we will be underway. Underway momentarily. Sam, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
How are we? Hear you. How you doing?
I'm sorry, man. The link wasn't working with the iPad. I really apologize. Let me get my camera going here.
No problem. I've been, well, I want to keep everyone entertained, but I've been just informing them that you've been having some technical difficulties. So
Yeah.
it's all good.
Good. Thank you. Well, I am here. Let's see if I can get the camera going. And of course, Zoom is not recognizing the camera. Let's see. How are you today?
I'm doing just fine. We're doing fine. It's a beautiful day. I'm coming to you from New York. Obviously, you are in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yes. Yes, and it's beautiful here as well.
Excellent. So what I'm going to do is while we'll wait 2 more moments before you get the camera going, and then we'll be underway.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Why are you not recognizing the camera? I just used you the other day. Okay, let me see. Let me try and plug it back in real quick. Yeah, it was all set up upstairs in my studio. I had the lights all set up. It was looking really good. But no.
No. It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
go ahead.
Still having issues?
Yeah, it still says it's just not recognizing. I don't know.
All right. Well, we're going to, I guess we can, we'll go ahead and get started. You're here. That's the most important thing.
Yes, I will keep working in the background here.
Okay, great. So then we'll get started. Again, everyone, thank you very much for your patience. And most importantly, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for this live webinar together with Sam Seavey from The Blind Life. I hope everyone is staying healthy and keeping their social distancing and following all state and local requirements. I know it's definitely challenging times, and we hope that you are remaining safe and healthy, and just encourage everyone to stay at home, and you know, we'll all get through this together. We're all in this together, and I'm confident that we will come out of this hopefully in the very near future. So I wanted to do a couple of housekeeping details here. So while Sam is still trying to figure out the camera technicality, I want to let everyone know that we do have the ability to bring you into the conversation. There are 2 ways where you can communicate with us. One is you can send in a question through the Q&A button. There you are. I see it's slowly coming.
Good. Progress.
We're making progress. Okay. I don't know what we're seeing, but we're making progress. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's slowly coming to life. There he is.
Yeah, I just got to get it positioned here. So keep going. Go ahead.
Keep going. All right. So, hey, it'll be worthwhile. In any event, so there are a couple ways you can connect with us. One, you can click on the Q&A for a question and answer. If you want to submit a question while we are talking, feel free to submit a question, and we will definitely make a pause at an appropriate time, and we will address your question. If you want to wait until the end, that will also be sufficient. If you want to send me a note through the chat, that's also good. And then you can also raise your hand. There is a button to raise your hand. So you have the Q&A button, the chat button, and the raise your hand button. And by the way, we've lost you there. So
yeah, I know. I see that.
So of all people for this to happen to, Mr. Technology.
I know. I don't have a good showing here. I'll get it. I think I know the problem.
All right. So we'll continue forward because you okay if we continue forward?
Yes, keep going. Keep going.
Excellent. Okay. So while we can't see Sam right now, we hope we will see him again in the very near future. I personally have had a great relationship with Sam. Our relationship spans back, I think now 3+ years now. And we've had the opportunity to take a few trips together. There you are.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Awesome. So we've had the opportunity to take a couple of road trips together. We've had the opportunity to, really illustrate what it means to be a low vision ambassador. In fact, Sam is one of our original low vision ambassadors. You can actually check out Sam's original low vision ambassador video. It's on his channel, The Blind Life. And I also want to first start off, that if you are not already subscribed to The Blind Life, please do so after this webinar. Fantastic channel. You're going to see a lot of amazing technology, great interviews, really the full gamut when it comes to low vision blindness. So I really encourage everyone to sign up, subscribe, because it's a fantastic channel. And so I'm really grateful to have you here. I was just, we're just in the beginning of April now, and, it was about a little over 2 years ago, the two of us did a pretty last minute road trip. It was one of those days where I think it was on a Tuesday, right? I called you up.
Yeah.
And I said, Sam, are you doing anything this week? And you're like, well, I got work. I have, a few other projects going on. I was like, well, is it possible you might be able to clear your schedule up a little? We have an interesting opportunity. We get to join me in West Palm Beach, Florida on Thursday. So Sam's like, what? West Palm Beach, Florida? I said, yes, West Palm Beach, Florida. We had this really incredible opportunity to tour, get a personal tour, and to really have carte blanche to the Orbis Flying Eye Hospital. So if you guys are not familiar with the Orbis Flying Eye Hospital, I encourage you to check out that vlog, of course, both on The Blind Life and also on our channel on YouTube. You can check that out. That was an incredible experience. And, going back, I watched that movie, that vlog, quite frequently, because not only does it bring back great memories, you see the tremendous work that Orbis is doing. And obviously, unfortunately, with, COVID-19, just like all of us are working from home, Orbis is actually, they have a tremendous virtual platform called CyberSight. Even though the aircraft is currently grounded, their show still goes on, and they, just like we're doing our webinars here, they are also doing webinars with their doctors and team members around the world, doing everything they can to save individual sites. So I encourage everyone to really go watch that video. It was just a great experience. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us. I know I had a time of my life there, and hopefully, you still look back on that as an incredible opportunity. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it really kind of set the tone for a lot of our trips. Right, last minute.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing in the next couple of days? But no, it was amazing, and just getting to walk and do a tour of the hospital, and see just all the technology that they crammed into such a small space, and how efficient it was. And in the back section of the plane was a full-on recovery area, and they had the little stuffed teddy bears there for the children. Yeah. Just a really great, heartwarming story.
Yeah, speaking of those teddy bears, I know, the teddy bears are a big part of Orbis as far as in the recovery area, especially for children that are going through there. And last week, I don't know if you saw this, but one of the main sponsors or corporate sponsors for Orbis is Omega, and they're actually the one that actually donate the teddy bears. Omega is the parent company of Swatch. Hopefully everyone here has heard of Swatch, the watch company.
Oh, yeah.
So Omega, the parent company, they had last week, they had their earnings call, and they typically have, they have a whole, audience coming in Switzerland for their earnings call. And because of COVID-19, they did it with just 3 people there, just 3 board members there. And what they decided to do is they decided to fill, I think, over 90 seats, separated, social distance, that was separated with Orbis teddy bears. It was a really fascinating piece, and they caught it all on video. So it was really fascinating. So
That's cool.
I've been fortunate to have some great. We spend a lot of time together with Sam. I'm sorry that we missed you at CSUN last month in California, but I'm sure we'll be able to make that up hopefully in the near future. We've had some, I remember that one night in Orlando at ATIA where we were going around and just pulling random people and, asking what their opinion and what their thoughts were on low vision as far as, what they knew about low vision. And we were giving away some T-shirts, all that. So we've had some great times together, and I'm really happy to have you here this afternoon. It's a great honor to have you here. We've launched these webinars, these live streams, just a little over 2 weeks ago, because everyone is home. And I figured it'd be a great opportunity if, bring everyone here from the community to be able to interact. Hopefully at the end, people will ask some questions for you. You've definitely, created a fascinating career for yourself. And I'm really proud of you because you've really have not let your sight loss condition be an impediment. And in fact, you've gone above and beyond to break down all barriers. So I give a lot of credit to you, and you're definitely a shining inspiration for many out there. So I mean that from my heart. I mean that, and it's great to have you. It's great to have you here today. So.
Okay.
So I want to, I've done enough introduction. Hopefully everyone already knows you from Sam, from The Blind Life. If you don't, this is the man behind The Blind Life, the creator. And I want to know, let's first start off and share with everyone your sight loss condition and what it's like today for you as far as your sight.
Sure. My vision story, as they say. So I have Stargardt's disease. It's a juvenile form of macular degeneration. Started losing my sight gradually at the age of 11. I was diagnosed. It's hereditary, so my sister has it as well, although we are the only ones in our family that we know of with juvenile macular degeneration anyway. So she's a couple years older, so they were kind of expecting to, they should probably keep an eye out on me. And sure enough, I started to develop it as well. I've been very fortunate, though, because mine has been a very gradual decline. I have friends who a couple periods in their life had really large loss of vision periods. And I've fortunate enough that it hasn't happened to me, knock on wood. But my acuity right now, a lot of people always want to know that it's 2400 in my left eye, 2800 in my right eye, right about there. And yeah, it's continually getting worse. Luckily, I guess you could say, I'll never lose my sight completely. But it's also a juvenile macular degeneration characterized by large blind spots, so no central vision. So I use my peripheral for just about everything. You might be able to tell I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking off to the side so I can kind of see the camera with my peripheral. But, like you said, Barry, I haven't let it stop me. And in fact, it's actually helped me in a lot of ways. I wouldn't be where I am right now without it. So I'm very appreciative of my vision impairment.
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that and being transparent and definitely, being very open about living with sight loss. We've come in contact with a lot of people. Sometimes people are a little shy, and I think it's always important to share your personal experience and to be able to tell your story, because you have a tremendous story. So, as everyone knows, Sam is the founder, chief executive officer of The Blind Life, and I've done we've done some videos, we've created vlogs, and it's not easy to put together a video. I know everyone loves to take videos these days. Everyone loves to capture that moment. We all take our smartphones out, or maybe your blind shell out, and you try to capture those memories. but creating a YouTube video, and specifically, a vlog series, and with the number of videos that you've produced to date, it's definitely very time consuming. So I would love for you to share, with the audience today, what it's like, from start to finish, what you go through as far as the process to create the video. And the first things first, it's, you have the content. I want you to share all that so everyone here today can understand the work that you do, the time and the resources that go into it. And so people, I think, will have a greater appreciation and a greater understanding as far as everything that you're doing.
Sure. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's definitely not easy. So yeah, it starts out with getting the content, finding out what you want to make the video about. And sometimes that it just comes to you, an idea, oh, that would make a great video. And a lot of them have, and that's awesome. Sometimes not so much. Sometimes you really have to search to find, a topic for that week. Because as you said, I try to put out a video every week. I do put out a video every week. Sometimes I get lucky and put out more than once a week. But so getting the content, and then the production of the video, setting it up, getting the shots, getting the video, getting the main video, and then getting the secondary video. They call it the B-roll, which is, like if I'm doing a video about a product, and getting the shots of the product and all that. That takes a lot. It takes a long time. It could be, could be several hours of work doing that. And then setting up the camera with vision impairment is not easy. Making sure you're in the shot, making sure your lighting is all right, everything, all that is difficult. I've got a whole video talking about giving little tips and tricks on how to do that, how to produce videos with vision loss. But then comes the editing process, and that's really what takes the most time. Because I use screen magnification to use my computer. And so if you can imagine, I'm zoomed in on a very small portion of the screen, and constantly moving around, and I'll have to zoom out to kind of get my bearings, and zoom back in, and zoom out and zoom in. And it just takes so much longer than someone with average sight would be able to do it. So that process could take several hours, up to a couple of days to work on a video. So yeah, total, you're looking at 9, 10, 11 hours to do a video. So
yeah, that's a lot of time, and
yeah,
it's a lot of work. And, I know, with your videos, it's not just about, highlighting and featuring a product. There's a lot more to it. And like you said, being able to capture the B-roll, creating the different angles. And I want to highlight that you're using, professional equipment. When I say professional equipment, we're talking about photography equipment. You're not using any specific camera that was created for someone with sight loss. You are using regular equipment. You mentioned that you're using, as far as software, as far as for magnification, correct? That would be the only thing that you are using to assist you, correct, in creating the videos, correct?
Yeah, I use my handheld magnifier to use the camera, to work the camera. Incidentally, if anybody knows of a camera that was designed for the visually impaired, please let me know. I would absolutely love that. Maybe, Barry, maybe we need to talk about a future business opportunity here afterwards.
Yes.
But yeah, use just a handheld magnifier to set the camera up and all of that, and then on the computer, just the magnification software.
Yeah, so I'm just curious, like, what's been the most difficult challenge? What's like your number one challenge? I know the editing it takes time, it's tedious. I mean, is there a specific challenge where it's more in the field? If you're outdoors versus you're indoors, I mean, what do you find the most challenging?
Every aspect of it has its little challenges. Probably one that gets me the most, and it happens all the time, and you think I would learn over the years to be better about checking this, but even just the other day, I made an entire video, had 2 or 3 cameras set up. It's the video I just released last week about drawing a picture using assistive technology, creating art. But my main camera, my A camera, was out of focus the whole time. It was set to manual focus from a previous video, and I didn't think to check. And when I'm looking on the back of the screen with my handheld magnifier, I can't necessarily tell that it's in focus. I just rely on the autofocus. And
Right.
so it isn't until I get to the editing process and I put it in and I'm on my computer that I realize the entire thing was out of focus. And so
this is after you filmed everything, and
Did
then
the
you
whole-
realize like, oh man.
Yeah. So I actually recorded that video twice because of that reason. And I've done that so many times.
You know what? We all look back in hindsight. It's some painful lessons that we learn and we go through sometimes. I'm going to help you create a checklist, just like the pilots go through a landing and departure checklist. We're going to create a checklist to make sure you go through each step and that doesn't happen again, because I know it's really painful. I've been down that road myself, where maybe you filmed something and then you're transferring it from one device to the next through a memory card, and then maybe you lose it and you try opening it, and it's like, there are a lot of challenges out there when it comes to filming. So that is definitely very painful. What was your first video, and when did you come out with your first video?
So the channel, so it's kind of a funny thing because I had a channel, or I had a different channel. I was working on a channel that was creating videos about Android, not accessibility, but just Android systems, Android phones and tablets and things like that, and teaching people how to modify them with the air quotes.
Modify them.
So I was making videos for a couple years before I created my channel. But my channel started in December of 2013. And I believe my first one was I think it was just titled Stargardts and Sam and Stargardts or something like that. And it was just talking about creating the channel and my vision impairment. Then I think that was part A and part B. And then I believe my third video, or third or fourth, was a trip to the grocery store. And it was originally titled Blind Guy Walks into a Store. And, and I still get a lot of people watch that video. I still get a lot of comments on that video. So it's still a pretty popular one. I should probably do an updated one.
I don't think I've seen that video. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. It seems like it definitely maybe get a few chuckles there.
You can see a much younger, less wrinkly version of Sam. Less gray hair in the beard.
Okay, I can't tell here, so it looks good. So so you started
webcams are good.
Webcams are good, exactly. Yeah. And I know, obviously, because of your Stargardt, I mean, did you just start the channel on the side? Did you just say, hey, I want to go out and share my story? What was the whole evolution as far as because from where you started and to where the channel is today?
Yeah, it started out, as I said, this other previous channel I was working on was kind of winding down. I was actually working for a gentleman in Texas, and he was kind of getting ready to shut down the channel. So I was looking for something else to do. And one day I searched for Stargardts on YouTube, and there wasn't much information out there about people living with vision loss. There were a couple channels, a couple videos. And so I thought at the time, I was like, I should start my own channel. I've got all the equipment. I know how to make videos. And so that's how the blind spot was started. Cause that's the name.
I remember that name. Remember that name.
Yeah. And it was just at the time, I always say I was just throwing darts at a board, coming up with ideas for making videos. It just, whatever I thought of. It didn't even have to be about vision impairment. It was just my life at the time. And later on, I kind of distilled it down to a certain little niche. But yeah, it was just wanted to share my life living with a vision impairment. And
so it went from your life, your story, into low vision aids and devices, products for the whole sight loss community. And that's where it is today.
Right.
I mean, I know the amount of people that are following, as far as subscribe to your channel from we first started talking, several, plus years ago, the number is significantly grown. And, it's funny because anyone who's been to our showroom in Timonium, Maryland, if you walk into the showroom and you look on the right-hand wall, we have a photo of some of our low vision ambassadors. And Sam is in that photo together with Glenda, and I think it's also with Jason.
Yeah.
And by the way, I have a couple of funny stories. Actually, someone actually came in there and thought that that was me up there in the photo, but that's a whole different. I'm like, no, that's not me. But if you come in there, you will see it, and you've been there, you would know that Sam is proudly on display in our showroom. And so the channel has definitely come a long way since its inception. So how do you choose content for the channel? So I mean, I know some of it maybe you do you have a preference as far as what content you want to put on there? I mean, I know again a lot of it's focused on technology. Explain to the viewers today how that process, how that works as far as going through unboxing and really taking the time to not only just open up and review the product, but you go through every single feature. I don't think you leave any knob, anything untouched.
Yeah. Well, I was very fortunate that I got a job several years ago as an assistive technology trainer at a nonprofit. And so I was instantly exposed to a lot of assistive technology. And I'd already, of course, grown up using AT devices, CCTVs and magnifiers. And back then it was, multi-track tape recorders that you would use to record lectures and all that kind of stuff. So I'd always loved AT and how it could help people. And so then all of a sudden when I got this job, I had a lot of new toys to play with and show on the channel. So that's really when the channel started to kind of morph into assistive technology. I do still do, I like to say that I do still like to make videos based on the life side of the blind life. Like the one I just uploaded today was talking about a skiing trip my family and I went on recently, and hopefully encouraging people to step out of their comfort zone and try something new. Had nothing to do with technology really, but you're right though. Most of the videos I do are AT, and yes, I will. Luckily for me, technology is changing so often and new things are coming on the market all the time. So I will just keep my eyes and ears open for what's new out there. And then I'll hopefully reach out to the company or they'll reach out to me and get a unit. And then, yes, you're right. Having that background in training, I learned a long time ago to get in there, pick it apart, find out what it all does, all the different bells and whistles. And I also, being low vision and being a user myself, I come from that unique point of view where I know what's going to work, what's not going to work. Some little feature that they might have just thrown on there to make it even more cool, but it's really not going to be helpful for anything. And so I will let people know that in the video. I try to be as honest as possible, and sometimes the company might not be crazy about that, but I owe it to the community to let them know as truthfully as I can what it's all about. But I always preface things also by saying that, vision impairment is such a wide spectrum, and everyone is so different that just because this device doesn't work for me necessarily, doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. And if you have the opportunity, you should definitely try it out. You might get lucky and it'll be like great and amazing for you, even though it wasn't for me. So I try to, with that in mind, I don't like to say I do video or tech reviews. I do more tech overviews, and I give my opinion about it. And then I give all the information I can and then let the viewer make up their mind regarding that.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the smartest way to go about this. This way you're really not biased towards any specific,
Right.
device or technology. And I know, you will always say, maybe this helps me out, or
Mm-hmm.
this doesn't help me out. And I think people really appreciate that because, everyone doesn't want to just hear yes, 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 yes. People want to hear what are the upside, what's the downside. Maybe this will be successful for me. Maybe this won't be successful for me. So I think that it's a great dynamic that you bring to your videos, and people really do appreciate that. I just had a question for you. As far as, when the video this editing and the software, is that something that you went to school for, or is that something that you were able to teach yourself?
No, everything's self-taught. I never went to school for any kind of videography or film production or anything like that. It's the amazing YouTube. I call myself a YouTube expert because if I need to learn how to do something, I just watch a couple of videos and instantly I'm an expert. We had one of our sinks went out up in the bathroom a couple months ago, and I had to replace the sink assembly. And it's like, just watched a couple of videos and knocked it out, got it done, no problem.
I think you did a video on that one, did you?
I think I did. I just kind of letting people know that, why not? Why can't we do this? It's especially repairing a sink. It can be a very tactile thing. I don't need to look at it. Most plumbers, I'm sure it's an awkward angle. They're not going to be able to see as much as they want to up underneath a sink. So you're doing a lot of it by hand anyway.
Right.
Once again, just trying to encourage people to not let vision impairment be an impairment. Let it, it's an obstacle. It's a speed bump in your life. Yes. But we can still do what we want to do and do what we need to do. You just oftentimes just have to find a new way to do it. Think outside the box.
Yeah. And I think that goes across, anyone, whether you're sighted or you're not sighted. I think there's always going to be speed bumps in the road. I think we're all, living today with a speed bump, as far as with COVID-19.
Yeah.
And, there's, if there's a will, there's a way. And I always encourage everyone to really, push yourself forward and doing everything you can to be successful at what you do. And so you've definitely illustrated that, and you're doing, again, a tremendous job. And I've always appreciated your videos from day one. So let's say someone is new to low vision. Where would you personally recommend that they start? They're just diagnosed with a sight loss condition. Their sight is, deteriorating just a little. Where would you recommend that they start from a device standpoint? Okay.
Well, I would, YouTube, once again, YouTube is great, not just, promoting my channel, obviously, but YouTube is the second largest search engine on the planet, just second to Google. I mean, they're owned by Google. So I did a whole presentation on this last year before, and just the numbers of daily visits to YouTube are staggering. Within seconds of news happening, the information is on YouTube. So it's a great source reference for finding out new devices, what's available, treatments, things like that. Facebook is also great. Lots of amazing groups out there. There's an assistive technology group. There's several assistive technology groups just for vision impairments. There's also going to be several groups available for your own particular vision impairment. I'm a member of like 6 different Stargardt groups. So lots of great information there. Take it with a grain of salt, though. There's a lot of misinformation there as well.
Right.
And, there's also great websites that have amazing information. The American Council for the Blind, the National Federation of the Blind, these national organizations, Foundation Fighting Blindness, American Federation of the Blind, websites like Low Vision Specialists in Maryland and Virginia, I'm sure have, just great information available.
Absolutely. So do you remember what your first low vision aid device was?
Yes, mine was, well, like I said, I was in middle school. And so it was an old Aladdin CCTV, which if anybody is familiar with an Aladdin, it's this giant, it's got the old CRT television. You would turn it on, but I loved it. And I even had a couple Aladdins in my office when I was a trainer, and I would go to the Aladdin before I went to the brand new Da Vinci or the brand new Prodigy or something like that, because you just turn it on and you didn't have to wait for a boot up screen or anything like that. It just came on, it just fired on. And even though it was 25, 30 years old, it worked great. It was an old Aladdin CCTV.
I'm sure you could not fold it up and take it with you wherever you went.
It weighed a ton. Yeah. Black and white, didn't even have color. Yeah.
Oh, black and white. Yeah. It's like, like old black and white TVs, that weighed a ton.
Yeah.
And, once you put it down, that's it. It was not going anywhere.
Manual focus.
Manual focus. Yeah, it's amazing how technology, how things have transformed and the pace the technology is moving today. So at the Low Vision Shop, we recently added a handful of new pieces of technology in various different categories. And as you know, we're very select as far as, what we add to the site. We're not just about adding, every single device. We like to have, best in class within each category. And I wanted to hear from you. I know you've done some videos, but I'd love for you to share with everyone today as far as the products from Dr. Light. So Dr. Light, task lighting. I want to come from you because, task lighting is important, and I would love to hear your thoughts on, overall task lighting, how it's helped you out, and how it could potentially help others out there who are watching.
Yeah. It's, for a lot of low vision, especially my impairment, macular degeneration, extra light is really, really important. That's one of the things I would tell people all the time as when I was a trainer, that how's your lighting at your home? Usually most people have the normal overhead lights. In the kitchen is a big area that they'll just have the normal overhead halogen lights in their kitchen. And they can't see their food and all this. And I say, well, you got to get more light in there. And that's a perfect example of where task lighting comes in handy, situations like that. Not only more light, but good quality light. There's a lot of bad quality lights, and that, sure, they're going to light it up, but for the long run and health of your eyes, that's not going to be good. So I think that's one of the benefits of Dr. Light too. They did a lot of research on the type of light that you need that's going to work the best for you. But yeah, having the task light, having it portable, having it mobile so you can move it around, get it exactly where you need it. I tend to have little LED flashlights stashed all around the house for that very reason. Is it like trick or treat? Everyone going around and come across a flashlight? Exactly. Yeah, and I have I've started to equip my house with motion activated LEDs. I did a video about how to install LEDs in your kitchen underneath your countertop. And I've got it connected to my Amazon Echo, so I could just say her name. I won't say her name, but I can say her name and say, turn on the lights, and she will. We have one attached to our Google over there for a desk lamp. So lighting is really, really important. And good lighting is even more important. Yeah, that's great. And I appreciate, going through and sharing with that, because a lot of people aren't aware that lighting is crucial, and there are some great devices out there that can provide, that extra lighting, whether it's you're trying to read something, just be able to look at faces or whatever it may be, even just sitting around, hanging out with the family. Lighting is very, very crucial. So the Dr. Light, I know you've done some videos on the Dr. Light product. Have you reviewed all three of them as far as the Angel Study Light, the Clarity, and I think it's called the Halo? I've only done the Halo. Is that the Halo one with the magnifier? Yes. Built in? Yeah. I've only done that one. And in fact, I just recently had a conversation with the Dr. Light representative, and I'm going to be doing another kind of more updated version of that video soon. Okay, great. Yeah, I was really impressed with that. And in fact, after I did the video, I took it into my office. This was back when I was a trainer, and I had it on the table for display for people coming in, and just saying, this is an option. It's got the built-in magnifier. It's great for tasks, like you said. Sewing was a really big one for a lot of my consumers that would come in. They would want to be able to sew, and I said, well, this would be a great option. You've got the magnification there. You've got the nice light on the what you're working on there. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely offers some great lighting, and it blocks out some of the Blu-rays as well. It's definitely a great piece of technology. We actually just added the 3 Dr. Light lighting fixtures to the Low Vision Shop right before the outbreak of COVID-19. So we do have all of them on display in our showroom.
Obviously, our showroom is now closed temporarily. So hopefully in the next few weeks or whenever we are ready to go out, we have them all on display. So if you're in the Timonium area, you'll come out, you'll see them, and I think you'll be really impressed. But for the time being, we have all of them featured online. We have the study lamp, and then we have the Halo and the Clarity that also come with a floor stand, which is also really, really terrific. This way you can move it around. It's not fixed maybe to a table or a desk, and you have both of those options available. So definitely a great piece. So we talked about a little lighting. Let's talk about cell phones.
All right.
I heard there's a great phone out there called the Blind Shell.
Yes.
You know anything about it?
I know a little bit. I think I can shed some light on that. Just a little bit. Yeah.
I do want to point out before you go in, I do want to point out it's an extremely popular phone. We're proud to have it at the Low Vision Shop, and go ahead, take it away.
Yes, so the Blind Shell is a new phone just launched in the U.S. in November, and in U.S. and Canada, and it is it's called the Blind Shell Classic because it's that old classic style of the candy bar shaped phone with the physical buttons, but they have added in the smartphone features that are so helpful for those with vision impairment. So anything you can do with like Siri or OK Google, you'll be able to do with the Blind Shell phone. Meanwhile, having those physical buttons, you don't have to worry about a touch screen. And it has over 30 different apps and features, some unique things like FM radio, internet radio. There's a translator. There's some low vision features built in, color identifier, object tagging. It's got all the bells and whistles you could want, GPS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all of that just in a much easier to use form factor and a simpler user interface.
Yeah, the phone is doing really well, and I'm actually going to bring a picture up here on the screen. Let me just here we go. Oh, sorry, we're going to talk about that next as far as iris vision, but I want to talk about here. So actually, this is what the Blind Shell looks like. In fact, the cardinal red is the most popular, and the other color is the midnight black. If you can see, hey, look at that. I see a picture of you over there. You recognize this guy? So if you can see here, the buttons, tactile buttons, which is a great feature. And for, if you're listening to this video and you have sight loss, there's a likelihood that, I think it's like almost like 80% of individuals living with sight loss today previously had, some level of sight. So I would say that a lot of people out there, I don't say everyone, but most people out there are familiar with the phone setup as far as the numbers on the keyboard, as far as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, of course, star and pound. So this is what I think everyone is familiar with. You and I can remember payphones. I'm sure other people may remember payphones out there. And we're not going to go back to the rotary phones, but the tactile feature is I would say, is probably one of the number one features about this phone. And this phone is now it's an unlocked GSM phone. It works on AT&T, T-Mobile, which now officially, I guess, with Sprint. So I think it's official. We can have Diane. Yeah, we can have Diane talk about that. And I believe it is official. And so T-Mobile, again, if your phone currently uses a SIM card, a micro SIM card, correct? Not a nano, a micro SIM card. Micro. Yeah. Then it will be compatible with the Blind Shell Classic.
Yeah, and I should mention that even if your phone does have a nano, you can get it switched out at your phone carrier for a micro for no charge.
That's a great tip. That is a great tip. So, I think a lot of the smartphones are already coming with the nano. But again, like you said, if you ask your cellular network provider to switch it out, then they will do that at no charge. So all you have to do is just purchase the phone, take your SIM card, pop it in, and you should be underway. We have a lot of amazing how-to videos as well, from basically getting started to adding the SIM card, to troubleshooting, to even sending a text message using the speech to text command. So a great, great, great phone. Again, we had them all on display in the showroom. Of course, if they're all here on the site as well. So definitely a great device. Now, I had it here on the screen before. Is there anything else that you want to add about the blind shell?
No. I mean, you pretty much nailed it. Yeah, I've got videos, a couple videos on my channel, and then as Barry was saying, I've been adding videos to the blind shell channel. I have over 20 different videos on there now. Having even more time right now to add videos. So I just added 3 new videos last week, covering all aspects of the phone. So definitely check it out.
Great.
And there's even comparison videos online.
Excellent. Those comparison videos are great. Again, this is more of a straightforward, if someone's looking for an easier phone to use where they're not have to worry about, apps opening up. Did I hit the wrong app? This is a very straightforward phone that will be able to help a lot of individuals out, being able to make and receive phone calls with those great audio commands and the speech to text and all that. So excellent phone. So I want to move into the category of wearable technology, specifically wearable devices that are able to improve an individual sight. So if someone has, and in your case, you have remaining sight, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I know you've seen a lot of devices out there, a lot of wearable technology devices out there. And I think I've heard you say that perhaps the most, I want to phrase this properly, Iris Vision has been able to help you out, I would say, the greatest from what you've seen out there today. Is that an accurate statement?
Well, yes and no. Not necessarily Iris Vision themselves, but that style, that VR style, yes, that you have on the screen right there. With that hardware, the Samsung hardware, it's worked the best for me. There are several companies kind of using the same hardware. And so just when just talking digital magnification, that style works the best for me, yes.
Okay. Is there any, do you find it's because you're fully enclosed, like wearing a VR headset? Is that what really helps you out with no distraction from light from anywhere else?
It is because, I don't have any central vision, as I mentioned. So I use my peripheral to see everything. And so because of that, I can't turn it off. I can't, someone can just focus on something and just pay attention to that one thing. I can't do that. I'm paying attention to everything all at once. So I need those blinders, like blinders on a horse. I need it to be closed in. I tried eSights originally. It was one of the first wearable devices I ever tried, and it didn't work for me because it was too open. I couldn't focus on the screens. The screens were washed out by all the light leaking in. So that's why one of the reasons why this style works the best for me. It's completely enclosed. You can't help but focus on the screen. And then also they tend to have a pretty large field of view because they're using that phone screen as the as the screen there.
Absolutely, yeah. So, as we have been involved with Iris Vision for a long time. Actually, we've been involved with Iris Vision probably since, longer than all their employees have been there. and it's definitely our go-to wearable device, again, for individuals who are looking to take remaining sight and maximize it for specific tasks. It's not for everyone. I want to point out also that at the Low Vision Shop, we have actually 2 requirements before we actually are willing to dispense a device. 1, it has to be able to help out an individual, and 2, it has to fit their lifestyle. A lot of the technology that's out there today, and I think, going back just, I'm not comparing or anything like that, but a lot of the technology out there today is pretty sophisticated. So sometimes the device can actually help out a person and actually improve their sight, but it's not going to be compatible with their lifestyle. So when we were saying before that the blind shell classic phone is a very simple and straightforward phone compared to more of a elaborate smartphone, maybe like an iPhone or an Android, The same thing we think really applies when it comes to wearable technology, and even with the next piece of technology that we're gonna highlight here. So I think it's really important that anyone who is purchasing technology to really do their best to get a proper demonstration first to see what it can do and to be able to make sure it fits your lifestyle. Because again, sometimes people are not interested in dealing with some of the technical issues, if we want to call it, that come along with these devices. So again, they do a tremendous job. Like we've said before, everyone has to have multiple tools in their toolbox to be able to help them, with their, routine tasks and be able to, realize what they need and what's compatible for them. So, the Iris Vision is a great device. And in fact, we are going to have Iris Vision tomorrow. We're doing a webinar with Iris Vision tomorrow. We'll send reminders for that within the next less than 24 hours. But it's, again, Iris Vision is a great device, wearable. It's got multiple different modes these days, not just you have your full scene mode, magnification. They actually just recently increased the magnification up to 14x, I believe. And, the ability to control the contrast. And it's a really, it has a lot of flexibility. You're not locked into one specific setting. Mm-hmm. So that's Iris Vision. And I want to move now and talk about Orcam My Eye 2. So last week we did a webinar actually with Orcam. For many of you who were here and participated, we talked about the new Orcam Read. And I know that you have not performed your specific review on that just yet, so we won't talk about that. But I want to talk about the Orcam My Eye 2 because they just came out with a slight enhancement called the Pro. So it's My Eye 2 Pro, where they've now taken the current hardware and they've made some software updates as far as the developments. And I'm just going to scroll down here where they've created this new feature. It's called interactive reading. And I can, I'm not going to read it here through, but it's interactive reading. And what that means is that if you're opening up and looking at a menu where you can, maybe if you're looking for something, let's say you're in a Chinese restaurant. I love Chinese food, so we'll talk about, I'm not picking on anyone like that. But, let's say you're at a Chinese restaurant and you want to specifically find the dishes with chicken. So the interactive reading mode will be able to further assist with that type of navigation and being able to hone in to something specifically that you are looking for. And on top of that, the Orcam My Eye 2 Pro is now also supporting wireless hearing aids. Just think it's the Starkey Livio Edge AI hearing aids, which is fantastic. I mean, it's pretty incredible to be able to know that for individuals who are using hearing aids, that they can have their Bluetooth hearing aids connect with a low vision aid device. Incredible. Mm-hmm. So that's another piece of technology that's been added. And then they're going through this beta testing stage now as far as orientation. And again, I want to stress to everyone out there that all of the technology, these devices out there today, they are not to replace any orientation and mobility skills. They're not to get rid of your guide dog if you have a guide dog. Those are crucial, pieces of the puzzle, if you want to call it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's important that everyone here knows that anything that we talk about technology is, you should never get rid of your basics. You always have to have and start off with the basics, specifically orientation and mobility training. I want to stress that. But this orientation mode is still in beta, and they're going to be testing that with users, and they are going to, it's going to be able to provide information to the user that perhaps maybe there are steps in front of them, maybe there's a desk, there's a chair. It's going to be able to call out a variety of different types of objects and just further assist individuals living with sight loss. So again, there's a lot of, there's definitely a lot of great stuff out there. And I encourage everyone, like you always say, when, to be your own ambassador, you have to go out and find the right solution that's going to be, fit for you. So, So yeah, so it's definitely a lot of great technology out there. I want to ask you a question because you really see a lot of this technology before it hits the market, and I want to get your opinion as far as where do you see you've seen things move at a very fast pace, right, in the last couple of years, and even within the past year. Where do you see technology going? I mean, I guess your opinion. Where do you see? Maybe you've seen something already on the robotic side. I don't know. But I would love to hear your perspective, and I would love for you to share even as far as like what would be your dream piece of technology.
Oh man, that's an impossible question, really.
All right.
It is incredible how things are changing and progressing. It seems to be that, and you could probably confirm. At all the conferences lately, it seems to be that everything's trying to get smaller and portable. As far as the desktop digital magnifiers, everything wants to fold down and be portable, which is fantastic, and play multifunction, so multi-purposes. So just like Iris Vision, you were talking there, you can watch YouTube on that thing, you can watch TV with it. It does a lot of things. I think that's the way it's going to go, especially for wearables. There's talk of this new battery technology that's supposed to replace lithium-ion batteries, and it's supposed to allow the batteries to be made much more powerful and much smaller. So that's going to open up a bunch of doors for wearable devices getting smaller and I imagine becoming more like sunglasses.
Right.
Some people have tried that and got pretty close with that, but just to have a pair of like wraparound sunglasses that just look like sunglasses, but still would magnify, that would be fantastic. We were very fortunate to go to a launch of a new product that's kind of playing around with the language of haptics. And so that looks pretty interesting.
Yes.
Being able to not only detect obstacles in front of you, but also navigate using haptics, really fine tune the obstacles and being able to tell exactly what it is. I mean, they talked about just by the haptic vibrations, you're going to be able to tell it's a round ball sitting on a table, or, at the very least, they definitely, as you said, stairs and the edges of doorways and things like that. But that's really, really interesting as well, and the possibilities there. There's all kinds of smart canes coming out, new cane designs, canes that light up, canes that do all kinds of cool stuff. So, it's really pretty exciting, the future. Now, one thing I do want to stress, and you kind of touched on it too, is that unfortunately, one device isn't going to be the end-all, be-all assistive technology, the one thing you need that's going to solve all your problems. Unfortunately, I wish it could be, but it's just not possible. So it's really finding out what's going to work the best for you to solve as many issues in your life as possible, and then looking for something else that's going to address the other goals and things you need. So, and being informed, like we've been talking about before, and that's where things like my channel comes in handy, because you can watch a couple of videos and learn what the thing does, and see if it's going to be the right fit.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so great about your channel. And I believe when you were in Baltimore not too long ago, back in, actually, was it already? Wow, back in November. November?
Yeah.
Oh my
October,
God, wow.
November, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that, right? You were in Baltimore, and I think when you were on your way back to Kentucky, right? Someone walked on the plane and they recognized you, and to me, that was, and that person was who is cited. And I want you to share that story, because it's so powerful, because I always say there's really a lack of awareness when it comes to the sight loss community. And so, we're doing this webinar today, and the webinars that we've been doing, we want to do everything we can, the collaborations that we're doing with Sam and the Blind Life, everything that we stand for is really about creating greater awareness and, increase independence for individuals living with sight loss. Share that story.
Yeah. So yeah, I was coming home from visiting you in Baltimore, and getting on the plane, and I always I do the pre-board, as I always recommend everybody to do if you're able to. It's great, fantastic. I've got a whole video talking about traveling, and I was sitting there, and everybody else was kind of coming on, and this lady kind of leans in, and she's like, "I'm sorry to interrupt, but are you Sam from The Blind Life?" I was like, yeah, I totally am. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, my husband loves you." Yeah, she wasn't even there. Like, I was in Baltimore visiting you, and we did a couple conferences and things, but she wasn't even there for any of that. She travels to Baltimore for work, and like weekly. And yeah, just randomly happened to recognize me because her husband was recently diagnosed with vision impairment, and he's trying to learn as much as he possibly can, which I love that. I think that's a great thing to do. And so he's been watching some of my videos, and so it's great. Yeah, I took a picture with her, and she, I guess apparently, she went to her seat. Turns out she was sitting right in front of me, and at the end of the trip, as when we got to our destination, she got up. She's like, "I sent my husband a text. He's so jealous."
Oh man. So that's great. To me, those are just great stories. I love hearing that. And that means that the work you're doing, it's getting out there, and people are appreciating the work that you're doing. So that means a lot, when I hear those stories like that. So again, just keep up the great work. I know we're coming close to our end of our scheduled webinar, but we're all here now at home. I actually gave my boys haircuts yesterday for the first time, so we're trying to find activities to do while we are dealing with COVID-19. Any particular tips that you want to share? I'm not showing the pictures of the haircuts because it's a little, well, they came out okay, but it was a little dicey there at first, but
well, I should mention my 14-year-old daughter trimmed up my beard. It was really bushy, and I had to get it. It was getting too big, and I go to a barber because I can't do it myself. I can't see myself in the mirror, and she did it for me, and she did a great job. I was very impressed. So, yeah, I think a lot of people in our house, we've been baking a lot, and this isn't even low vision related. It's just, you're bored, you want to try something new. So we've been baking. We baked some bread the other day, and it turned out wonderfully. So that's definitely something you could do. Get in the kitchen, especially with family and friends, and try to create some new stuff. Definitely, pull out. My wife and my daughter are doing puzzles. They love doing puzzles. I'm not great at puzzles. But we have done board games before, and I used the Iris Vision to play board games. I played Scrabble with it, played, I've got a video showing that off, played card games with Iris Vision. And this, would be true for a lot of different devices. One game that we love in our house is Clue, the old school game of Clue.
Love that game.
Yeah.
Love that game.
And if you remember, you have the little piece of paper with everybody's name on it and all the different weapons, and you have to keep track and, narrow it down to who did it. But I can't use that little piece of paper. It's too small. So I snapped a picture of it, and I blow it up on my iPad. And then I have actually I loaded the picture into a drawing app so that I can then cross out the name on the iPad, and I can do it really big and zoom in. And so I'm able to do it no problem using that little tip
technique.
Accessibility tip.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. We've gone back to the basics here. We actually just stocked up on some board games as well. If you remember Trivial Pursuit.
Oh yeah, I love that too.
So it's great game.
That's a great game for visually impaired because you won't be able to read the questions, but you can certainly sit back and answer the questions. And
yeah, great game, and definitely it's a great family game. So if anyone's looking for that, highly recommend that. You can order it probably on Amazon. And I think that's what we did, and it's definitely a great game. So any other suggestions or anything else you want to share on that?
Well, I'll tell you, talk about another board game. Did you ever play Risk? the game of
Yes, yes,
world domination.
yes.
I love that game growing up, but I'm not allowed to play it in my family because that is a game that will tear families apart. Because it is very cutthroat. You're all against each other, so that's not a bring families together kind of game. It's a lot of fun though.
No, it is a great game. It is a great game.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great game. So I want to, before we close things out, there is a question here. But if anyone has any questions or they want to, literally come into the panel as a panelist, would love to bring anyone in if they want to meet him. If they've never met Sam before, we'll bring him in with video or just audio. So what you could do is you could raise your hand now, or you can shoot me through the chat. Say, hey, I want to, I have a question, please bring me in. So again, if anyone has any questions out there that they want to ask Sam, myself, please, now would be the time. And please don't be shy. Please don't be shy.
I'm an open book.
Open book. Oh boy. I hear there's rumors of a new website launching soon for the Blind Life.
Yep.
All
Currently
right.
working on it. It's been a long time in the coming. I over the years, I had a lot of people say that they wanted a place, a central location where they can get all the information as far as, all the videos coming out,
Right.
what's going on, what's coming next, events, appearances, things like that. And so I finally pulled the trigger and got one, and it's
Awesome.
in the process right now. Should be hopefully soon.
I was fortunate to get a sneak peek, and it's looking really sharp. So I can't wait for you to launch it, and we'll definitely be sharing that with our followers at that appropriate time.
Cool.
There's one question here. Let me go ahead and read it. Wanted to know, actually, hold a second. Let me go back here first. Will the blind shell run Be My Eyes? That is a very good question.
That's a very good question. So it does not right now, but it is definitely one of the apps that I'm pushing for the to be added to the phone. So the phone is a very simplified user interface, and because of that, we're kind of limited on the apps that can be put onto it. Certain apps are just too complicated, like Facebook. But an app like Be My Eyes definitely lends itself very well to that user interface. So I think it would work really well. Be My Eyes, NFB Newsline, the NLS Bard is another one, Bookshare. Those are all things that I would love to see on the phone. And it's just a matter of working it out. The phone is sold in over 20 countries in around the world. So there's lots of different versions of the phone. And because of that, it takes a while for things to come out, but they're definitely working on it.
Yeah, that's definitely a great question. And I'm looking forward to when the blind shell can actually have Be My Eyes or maybe even Ira together one day. So definitely a great question. Nancy wants to know what's the name of the game that I mentioned. I mentioned Trivial Pursuit. Trivial Pursuit is a great game. It covers, geography. It covers sports, entertainment, science. It's really it's really a well-rounded game, and it's a lot of fun. So
and then there's several versions of it too. It's get anywhere from kids version up to genius level.
Yeah, it's and some of those questions are really tough. So
oh man,
we were playing the kids version, but we were testing out a few questions from the adult version. It's definitely it's a challenging game, and I think everyone, especially now, would really appreciate it. So great question there. This question's for you, Sam. Someone is saying they love your headset that you're wearing. What can you say about it, and any headset recommendations in general?
This actually is literally nothing special. I think it was like $12 on Amazon. I needed it for my computer setup. It's really pretty good audio, audio for me. I'm not sure if the microphone sounds good. I think it does.
You sound great, by the
anyway.
way. You sound like you're sitting right next to me.
Good. It can mute. I can adjust the volume and all of that. It's USB, USB microphone. So, but like I said, nothing special. I don't even know the name of it, honestly. I do, the video I put out today actually had a little commercial in the middle of it for some Bluetooth wireless headphones that
Yes.
if someone needs, if you like the Apple AirPod style, but you don't want to spend the whatever it is, $150, $300, I don't know how much those things are. That's crazy. This is exactly the same, but it's right around $50. It's called PAMU, P-A-M-U, Bluetooth wireless earphones, and I've got a link in the description of the video. I also have a pair of Bluetooth headset that I use that they are earphones, but they are connected by a cable to each other, and the cable just wraps around the back of your neck. And then the back of the earphones are also magnetic, which I'm going to do a video about those very soon. I love those things. And the fact that they're magnetic means that you can just clip them around your neck, excuse me. And they're so easy to keep track of. So, you know, with no vision at all, you're definitely be able to keep track of these. I hang them on the refrigerator because they're magnetic. And so that's where I know they're always going to be.
Yeah, I saw them in the video. They look great. We do have one of your favorite fans is now coming into, I've just promoted this young lady to a panelist, and right. I'm trying to unmute her. Diane, how are you?
Hi, Barry. Hi, Sam.
Hi, Diane. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I just wanted to say, yes, the Sprint T-Mobile merger is definite as of last Wednesday.
Wow, that's awesome.
Hopefully we could get the blind shell.
Yes, we will need to start talking about that.
Yeah, I would love it. I love the phone. I think it's great. I love the fact that you're planning on expanding it to have Be My Eyes and Bard and great apps like that.
Yeah. I've talked with Bard people. We've talked with Ira people. So, like I said, it's just we need to get the craziness that's going on in the world over and get back to somewhat normal, and then we can start working on that stuff again.
Yes, great. And I just had one comment, and this is something that Barry touched on, that, you know, all these devices and technology are great, but you have to get your blindness skills first.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct. Yeah. That is correct.
Yeah. I made a video. I'm sorry. I made a video talking about the three things that I love most about being visually impaired. And one of them was being so tactile and being able to just explore the world around me just by touch, and then using audio cues and you know, and that's, I know that's not exactly a blindness skill that you learn or anything, but it's more of just not relying so much on technology, relying on yourself and your own abilities also.
Yeah, and sometimes it is just so nice to take a walk with just my cane, not Ira, not Be My Eyes, not anything electronic, just being outside in nature.
Yeah, and not being afraid to do that because you have you've trained and you got the training and the practice and develop those skills.
Yeah, and I've had a few people already share with me that a mobility cane is a great way to practice social distancing. It will definitely help you out.
That's what I told my wife the other day. We were going shopping, and I said, I need to bring my cane because I know if I can reach out and touch them with the cane, they're too close.
No, it's very true. Very true. Someone else has another question here. Someone asked, and I'm going to let you answer this because I don't want to, I want you, Sam, you will be able to answer us. What's the difference between iris vision and other wearable devices using, you know, what would you say the difference is? I'm going to let you answer from a technology standpoint.
Sure. So, well, if they're using the same hardware, so like Iris Vision, Patriot Viewpoint, Cyber Eyes, they all use the Samsung phone with the Samsung headset. So they're using the same hardware. So theoretically, and it could be argued, but they should have the same results as far as the digital magnification. I know that's not exactly true, but you could say that. You could argue that. So past that, you need to look at the other features, the other things that they have available. Iris Vision does some of the media consumption, watching YouTube, watching TV. Patriots doesn't watch or doesn't connect to YouTube. Cyber Eyes has the mood identifier, so they can tell if someone's happy or sad, or and it has a color identifier. So it's really comes down to the other features, and then price. I always stress budget should always be a concern when thinking about assistive technology. It could be the greatest thing in the world, but if I can't afford it, it doesn't matter. So budget
correct
should be considered.
And I just want to add one other piece of the puzzle, and I'm sure you'll agree with me on this. When you look at any device as well, and we're talking about Iris Vision here specific, they do have a fantastic tech support and customer service that really supports the device. So I want to stress that. That is also really important. And Iris Vision comes with 3 hours of off-site virtual training with one-on-one training, which is also very crucial. I don't know if the other devices, do they have remote tech support, the other devices?
Cyber Eyes does. I know. I'm not sure about Patriot, and I don't know at what level they have. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. So again, we're we want to share as much information as possible with everyone, but you have to always look at the complete picture, just like you do with anything in life before you make a purchase, and make sure it fits your lifestyle. It can help you out, and then all the other ancillary benefits that come along with the device. So definitely a great question. Does anyone else have any other questions? Including you, Diane. Any questions?
No, believe it or not, I'm quiet.
Do you want to hear something funny real quick? When Diane started talking, I kind of glanced over, and it was Barry's image, and I was zoomed in a little bit. I thought for a second Diane shaved her head.
That will never happen.
What did you do, Diane?
Try and join the club.
Yeah, is that some kind of COVID thing that we're all banding together?
Well, I have a little hair left, but I thought about when those clippers came. The clippers came in the mail, so I could give my boys haircuts. I said to my wife, I said, "Do you think maybe I should just shave my head?" And she said, "Absolutely not." So
I say go for it.
I tried, Sam. I tried.
Yeah,
I tried. But before we wrap this up, I want to just offer here for anyone that participated for the next 24 hours, if you do make a purchase for any device, use the promo code SAM, S-A-M, and you will receive 10% off at thelowvisionshop.com, and plus free domestic shipping, plus, Sam, you don't know about this yet, plus anyone who makes any purchase within the next 24 hours and uses that promo code SAM will be able to receive a complimentary their choice of a Blind Life t-shirt. Yes.
I don't even have one.
There you
go. You can make a purchase. There you go.
Yeah, you need to buy something. Am I excluded from that deal, though?
Possibly. Where it says friends and family,
yeah,
if you work
that's what I was thinking.
So again, if you make a purchase within the next 24 hours, use the promo code SAM, S-A-M. When you check out, you click on redeem your code, you enter SAM, that will entitle you to 10% off. We will then reach out to, and plus free domestic shipping, and we will also reach out to you and give you a choice of how many Blind Life t-shirts are out there today. How many styles?
I think I've got over 20, and I'm going to be more. Yeah. It was, yeah, I think so. And I should say, I don't even get free shirts. So that's a pretty good deal.
It is a good deal. And if people want to see those shirts, where can they see those shirts today?
They can, you can search on Amazon for Blind Life shirts, but there are some copycats out there I'm not very happy about. But
Neither am I.
If you go to amazon.com/shop/theblindlife, That's my Amazon shop. It has my shirts and all the different Amazon products that I recommend.
Excellent. Excellent. Again, take advantage of that. Next 24 hours, we will reach out to you. Use that promo code. We will reach out to you and we will ask you which shirt you would like. And of course, with the corresponding size. And again, that's valid through April 8th. I believe that's going to be through Wednesday. So really take advantage of that. Sam, I want to thank you very much for your time today, for joining us. And I want to really just congratulate everyone here that participated today, that joined us today. We hope that you found this webinar to be informative. And again, always, if any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Sam, if someone wants to send you a question directly, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Well, you can always leave comments on my videos. I go through comments. I read all the comments and reply as best I can. Or you can just send me an email, theblindlifesam@gmail.com.
Excellent. theblindlifesam@gmail.com. If you want to reach out to Sam directly. And if you want Sam to do a product review, or I say product overview. reach out to him as well. He'd be happy to further discuss that with you. And again, if you haven't already subscribed to the Blind Life channel, I encourage you to do so immediately. Yes. And I have here just one more comment. Thank you. Love the discovery of these webinars. And another resource with the Blind Life. Yes. Again, really, the Blind Life is a tremendous resource. We're happy to bring this to everyone. I am certain that this will be a continuous, offering that we do. And it's great to bring, incredible individuals like Sam, who is an ambassador for the sight loss community, to bring him here and to share those resources with everyone here today. So I wish everyone good health and be safe. And we will all get through this. Remember, we're all in this together. And for those of you who we look forward to see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. And as a reminder, on Wednesday, we will have Dave Steele, the blind poet, at 4 p.m. That will be the rescheduled webinar from last week. Unfortunately, Dave was under the weather. So we will have him on Wednesday. And again, we thank everyone for participating today. And be well. And again, thank you very much, Sam. Diane, be well. And again, have a wonderful evening.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Take care, Sam. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.